Okay, go ahead.
Hello, we're the Automobile Group. I'm John.
I'm Greg.
Tyler?
Matthew.
The automobile industry is a very important industry when it comes to sustainability. It's important because 30% of greenhouse gases emitted by the United States are from automotives. Hexion asked us to research 12 companies: Renault, Nissan, BMW, Hyundai, Tesla, Volkswagen, Daimler, Subaru, Honda, GM, Ford, and Toyota. Now I'll start with Matt.
Okay, so we started this project with the goal of finding smart business partnerships for Hexion, which we broke down into 3 parts. The first was to give background information, which included researching the trends of the industry, leaders and laggards, and policies. The second step was to take the companies John mentioned and evaluate their sustainability strategy and goals, and determine leaders and laggards in the sustainability field. And this is the third step, which is to give our suggestions on partnerships Hexion should look for in the industry.
All right, for the materiality matrix, we found a couple areas that did not quite line up here. The climate change, the governance, the investment, even the procurement, as we can see, kind of made it all to the upper left-hand corner. As for climate change, governance, investment and procurement, we found that Honda would like to play their parts very close to the vest, and there were premiums and shortages involved in their products as a result. Critical limits also occurred. Preferred suppliers and vendors and approved exclusive quality vendors and high standards also existed amongst the other companies, such as that of Daimler and all of them are also multinational but headquartered in different countries. Some of them are public and some of them are privately held. So, for example, Daimler was on the European exchange. The ticker was DDAIF. Honda is traded here under HMC, and Subaru is on the Tokyo exchange with TSE 7220. Insofar as investments, many have invested a lot back into the respective regions, and they also reinvest in the companies, while some of them split up amongst the shareholders as a result of being traded companies on the various markets. That also helps raise stock for certain companies, and some of it is very constant, while others it's periodic. Recently we found that Daimler had invested $1.3 billion in research and development in premium and smaller cars. Honda, $215 million in the Ohio plant and improvements. And Subaru, they just made a $300 million investment in their service operations. They've also divested too. So, for example, we've seen Daimler sell off Chrysler, and Chrysler acquire Fiat for some other areas.
Climate change is another important part of the auto industry. Throughout my research, I ran across the automobile companies being among the top in the world as far as companies concerned when it comes to climate change. In this report, a lot of our companies were ranked either very high A's. They were working to save energy across the board, reducing operational energy. They also are creating new renewable energies. Most companies are also working on an ecological footprint by building designs and also way they're shipping vehicles. Companies are also working with their emissions, their fuel mileage to lower their emissions, with hybrid technology and electric vehicles coming to more and more common nowadays. The future of the industry, we see gas is a very volatile market, and with some market experts predicting that gasoline prices will be back at $5 a gallon by 2020, it's going to be important for auto industry to keep up with demands for more fuel-efficient vehicles.
All right. Another variance between Hexion and the auto industry is their procurement. The auto industry is leading, one of the leading industries right now when it comes to improving their sustainable procurement. And a big reason for this is because with all industries moving towards sustainability, a more sustainable procurement and supply chain has led, our studies have shown that it has led to a more sustainable company. And it's because of this that many of the top and all of our recommendations for Hexion have moved towards a sustainable procurement. That being said, it is very important for Hexion moving on to that being said, it's very important moving on for Hexion to take a look at their procurement as well as just their sustainability practices overall, because it is being weighed in when companies decide who they decide to work with when it comes to their suppliers. That being said, our recommendations for Hexion, we would say Volkswagen, Toyota, Nissan, and BMW. Taking a closer look at Volkswagen, the biggest thing for them is the New Think Blue initiative. They have shifted towards a strong focus on sustainability, overhauling most of their factories and buildings worldwide to be powered by solar or wind power. They've also made a shift towards their new e-Golf, which runs completely on electric energy. And along with this, they highly value their suppliers. Every year they have a yearly summit strictly focused on sustainability, in which they reward their suppliers for their efforts.
Next company we're looking at is Nissan. Nissan's a great company. They're doing a bunch of research, seeing if they've broken environmental laws, and I could not find anything since 2007. And back in 2011, they won Green Company of the Year at the Auto Wheels Awards. And then over the past few years, Nissan's become a leader in electric vehicles, and their partnership with Renault, who's the sole provider right now of the Formula E series, and Daimler, they're working to improve this technology in the future so they can keep that lead going. Another great company for Hexion to work with is BMW. Across the board, when I was reading through BMW's sustainability report, they were the best report I've read. Their last year were the sustainable leaders in the auto industry, according to Dow Jones. They're using more renewable energy sources. They are reducing their water usage, and they are creating a program for their owners to take old vehicles back so they don't have to get materials from the ground anymore. They are also working with their suppliers to help them run more sustainable as well, which will be beneficial for Hexion. Now I'll pass it over to Matt.
So our final and strongest recommendation would be to work with Toyota. This has kind of been the sentiment since we started this project, for the 4 reasons listed there. The first one is that they're the global leader in sales. They're one of 2 companies with over 10 million sales in 2014, including Volkswagen. Toyota actually sold 90,000 more cars than Volkswagen in 2014. More importantly than just the sales is we identified emerging markets in the first part of the project as China, India, and Brazil. Toyota has seen a 6% growth in the US market, 13% in China, and 10% in Brazil. So it's fair to say that they will continue their dominance in global sales. The second point is their consistent innovations. The Prius was an entirely innovative idea, and it really took the hybrid market over. The Camry hybrid model is generally in the top 5 selling hybrids as well. So they have 2 of the top 5 models yearly in the hybrid market. Now they are into fuel cells as well. Their fuel cell model has been so well accepted that Hyundai in South Korea had to slash the price of their model just to try to get some market share, because Toyota is taking over that market as well. They're not doing much in electric vehicles, as much as like hybrid, but they are still present in that market as well. And so we just feel like they'll continue to innovate with whatever trend the market is going through. The incomparable reputation, that's due to they have a really strong customer focus, a strong governance, and it's easy for customers to give feedback. They have a lot of channels for buyers to do that. We didn't really see any companies that could compare to their reputation, which is why they've been leading global sales since 2008. Before that, for the past 70 years before that, GM was leading, but due to their poor corporate governance and their poor reputation, they weren't putting out good vehicles. They've lost that. They're now down to 3rd behind Volkswagen and Toyota. They also have a smart sustainability strategy. They have Toyota City. It's where they're headquartered. It was renamed after the company. They are experimenting with how renewable energy and hybrid and electric vehicles can work together to not increase electric consumption, how to conserve energy in other ways, be more efficient with it. And that's very innovative. And also to reduce peak demand so that people aren't consuming the energy all at once. They have a very strong recycling program. They are recycling many of the rare materials out of batteries, especially hybrid batteries. They're finding ways to recycle, which is very important moving forward. And they have a customer-focused sustainability, most importantly. Like I said, they have a lot of channels for customer feedback, and they take the feedback they're getting and they move forward with it. So our last suggestion, which is really the most important, is to make smart business partnerships. Hexion is playing in the automotive industry, which has followed a trend of large companies like Apple and Walmart, who are dictating to their suppliers what their sustainability strategy should be. When we evaluated different sustainability strategies in the automotive industry, most of the companies were trying to focus on their supply chain as the easiest way to improve their own sustainability. As I said, Toyota's not sourcing scarce materials anymore. Things like this, Hexion doesn't want to lose out on a possible deal with Toyota or Volkswagen, BMW, just to save or make a little bit of money now. In the long term, it's going to be better to focus on companies where you're well aligned sustainably with your goals and your strategy. Also, to make sure moving forward you're getting your own suppliers and in line with your strategy and not doing business with those that seem risky.